Jonathan and Primero into the wall, then just about avoids it. Is history going to repeat itself? Yes, it is. Off the track, into the wall they go. They go down like Skittles. Formula Danny is the winner of the first ever Squad Sprint Series. He is the champion.
Hello and welcome back to Veloce Squad Sprint, the series that's 2 parts Veloce content creators, 1 part F1 esports drivers, and 1 part miscellaneous, mixed with a sprinkling of chaos, a dash of dive bombs, and cooked on a bed of reverse championship position starts. My name is Justin, and joining me for commentary today, it's not Andy, it's actually Cal.
That's right, hello, I'm not Scottish and it's been a very long time since I last commentated on an F1 race, but I switched from editor to commentator for round 3 of Squad Sprint and I'm very much looking forward to it.
And first of all, before we start, I just wanted to say a huge thanks for the support on the first 2 episodes. You guys in the Veloce community have been fantastic, and we really, really appreciate it. Last time out at Circuit of the Americas, it was Formula Dandy who picked up the win with Hypers and Simon completing the podium in a race that saw the first ever safety car. Let's look at the grid for today's race. We've got Jem Bullock-Bossy starting from Paul Camille alongside him. Then it's Tom 97 in 3rd position with Ryan Littlemore, Ryan L83 in 4th position. Then it's Isaac in 5th. Niren starting from 6th position on the 3rd row of the grid. Then we've got Raggy from 7th position starting alongside of Storm on row 4. Then it's Arav starting from 9th position. He's just ahead of Joe Eterno Wilkes. Then we've got Hayden in 11th position. Simon starting from 12th after a good result last time out. Tiamat Marduk from way down in 13th with his good results so far. Alex Gillen in 14th. Then it's Jarno Otmir. Daniel Beresday from 16th position. And then bringing up the rear, it is James and Hypers because, of course, they are leading the way in the championship. The picturesque Red Bull Ring in Austria will play host to the 18 drivers for today's race, the most we've seen so far in Season 2. And with some fast guys starting at the front, it's going to be very difficult for our current championship contenders to even think about a podium position with lots of cars between themselves and the glory that they so richly desire, which I can only assume means we're going to see quite a bit of chaos here today, Cal.
Oh, for sure. We have got the biggest grid in Squad Sprint history, and we've got a brand new face starting on pole position, Jem Bullock-Bossy's first race in Squad Sprint and for Season 2 as well. And we've got a nice championship battle hotting up at the back. There are a few drivers, including Hypers and Danny, that are starting to run away with it. Let's see how that championship battle fares out today.
And we've got a mixture of tire compounds, I noticed as well, because we saw the tire compounds come up on the screen very, very briefly there just before we start the race. So there's a nice mixture of soft and medium compounds as we head to 5 lights down at the grid on board with Tom 97 in that Mercedes. And it looks like he's gotten a good start, or has Cocky not gotten a great start. It looks like he's actually lagging about quite a bit, but Tom does manage to hold on to that 3rd place position. A bit of contact now between Isaac and Ryan L83 as they make their way through turn 1. This is Ryan's first race as well too, as Niren now coming down. He's going to have the inside line into this next right-hander. Arav is braking very, very late, makes contact with the Williams. Niren makes contact with the Williams as well too. Arav loses a bit of front wing. Storm is trying to navigate his way through all of this chaos. They're 3 wide on the run down towards the next right-hander, and the safety car is out. So they are going to have to hold the position they were in, but wow, it was last time out at Coda, it was Tiamat Marduk that was putting in the dive bombs, but Arav is kicking things off straight away with that epic dive bomb. I don't know if it was intentional though, Cal.
No, I think he was taking a leaf out of his career mode, but with those sorts of dives. That was absolutely insane. Absolute dive bomb through the middle of multiple cars, hitting the Williams, going into that corner. Just in the background, we just saw that we've lost Joe Eterno Wilkes and he will not be rejoining. So that is a huge loss to Racing Points. Stab at trying to score some points here today. We've got Hayden Gullis, his teammate in P13 with a team radio.
I think everyone around me is going to pit, definitely be pitting, considering they're all on softs. This is not going to work out nicely for me.
So we've got this early safety car and some early pit stops, and Arav is taking a very strange line going into the pit lane. I think he's not quite accustomed to Formula 1 in Austria so far yet, Justin.
Maybe Arab has had a few drinks tonight. I'm not entirely sure, but this is some very strange behavior from a man who has played a lot of F1 games, let's be totally honest. And yeah, indeed, there are a lot of people coming into the pits and getting rid of the tires that they started on. And of course, this is a 25% distance race, as they will be all season long. Let's have a quick replay on board with Veloce James, who was starting from the penultimate position of 17th. You can see it's actually 4 wide heading into turn 1. Jarno Opmeer taking out one of the braking boards on the left-hand side there. I'm sure people will be appreciating that as they come into turn 1 at close to 200 miles an hour, maybe over 200 miles an hour. There's that replay of Arab just absolutely yeeting the Williams off at turn 2. Well, what I call turn 2. Sometimes it's called turn 3. But yeah, it is Camille who takes the lead of the race in the Williams after all the pit stops and chaos and carnage and carbon fiber that was shed at turn 1 and turn 2. And he will be leading us as it is now lap 3. No DRS, though, of course, behind the safety car, because that would be ludicrous. And indeed, there is the safety car coming into the pits, and we will be getting ready to get going. After this lap, there will be 15 laps remaining. Tom making sure not to pull an Alex Gillen at Coda there, make sure not to lose some of his front wing, but he does get caught out in a big way here. Jem Bullock-Bossi sticks right to the back of the Williams up ahead, but Tom actually starting to gain some time now on this start-finish straight, and he is going to be right behind Jem Bullock-Bossi as they make their way through turn 1, but the Red Bull going quite a ways off the circuit there. This could be an opportunity for Tom to grab second position, and he's actually going to have the inside line on the run down towards turn 2 as well as they get into the braking zone. Is Jem going to be nice about it? Oh, some more contact with the back of the Williams. The back of that Williams has seen the Williams in general are just seeing so much contact here, and it looks like Tiamat Marduk might take a position off one of the Williams here too, Cal.
They're very much in the wars at the moment. Tiamat Marduk trying to go round the outside of Veloce Isaac. Can he make the move stick? He does make a very nice move there round the outside as he is on the medium tyre. We've got a very strange sort of field. If you looked previously, we've also got side by side Arav and Hypers. Hypers trying to go round the outside. There's contact between the two of them. Arav has gone round. Can everyone just about avoid him? Alex Gillen once again having to take avoiding action like he did in Austria. We've also got Veloce James all over the back of Alex Gillen. Niren right in front of them as well. But we've got half the field that have already made their first pit stop and probably only pit stop in this Grand Prix. And now we've got Tom 97 all over the back of Karki, who's going to be going up the inside with the fastest lap as well. Meanwhile, actually, Formula Danny takes that just off him, but Tom goes up the inside into turn 1 and takes the lead for the first time in SquadSprint in season 2. But looking a little bit further back, Tiamat Marduk looking right in the rear view mirror, and you can see that Formula Danny is trying to attack him right around the outside, and that was poor from Ben. He did not put up any fight whatsoever going into that braking zone.
Yeah, Danny making that look easy, or Ben making it look easy for him. And Danny's not done yet. He's going to get the inside line on Ryan L83. Is he going to try it on the Williams too? He's late enough on the brakes into the right-hander at turn 3. There's a bit of contact between the two of them, but no major damage, no minor damage even, in fact, that I could see. And Formula Danny gains 2 positions in 2 corners. He has absolutely scythed his way through the field much quicker than we've seen from Veloce James, who is still quite a bit a ways back, actually. You can see the next Haas on the minimap there, just coming out of the slight right-hander there. And here we go. Formula Danny is trying to make it a 3rd position on lap number 5 here, and he does indeed into the penultimate corner, makes the move on Karki, and he's ahead of the Williams, and now he's got Jem Bullock-Bossi up the road. That will be his next target. Now we've got the Mercedes of Raggy coming into the pits. Can he get it all slowed down? Yep, he is actually pretty cautious about that. As you can see, the Mercedes guys coming out, and it is a 3-second time penalty for Jem Bullock-Bossi, who is still holding on to that second place position, but for how much longer, as Formula Danny shoots up the inside, and rather easily, it looks like, again, taking another position. This man is on a charge. The SquadSprint Season 1 champion is showing everyone how it's done.
Danny is a man on a mission. It is worth noting, I should have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but Jem Bullock-Bossi is on a pad. He's not on a wheel for this race. So he will be a little bit slower than his usual F1 Esports paces. We've just saw Veloce Hypers up the inside of Ben. As you can see, Ryan Littlemore right in front of him. Hypers, his teammate, is probably going to be making way for his Toro Rosso teammate through this middle sector at the moment. But as you can see on the left-hand side, a lot of people already making stops, and Formula Danny leading the way with he's technically in the net race position at the moment. Hypers, like I said, getting past Ryan Littlemore very, very quickly as we go through the final corner to complete lap number 6, and everyone taking some nice liberties with the reduced corner cutting abilities in this session. A little bit further back, we've got Veloce Storm, who's currently keeping Veloce Isaac, giving him a little bit of company as they go through turn number 1. Alex Gillen, oh my word, they are taking liberties and a half, I may say. A little bit further back though, Veloce James and Simon Weigang. This looks like a juicy little battle going up the hill very, very late on the brakes, but Simon Weigang right round the outside. What a move from the Renault driver. That was absolutely incredible. Very, very late on the brakes with a bit of DRS, and Simon looks like he's already lining up his next victim of Alex Gillen going into the next braking zone. Can he do 2 moves around the outside? Come on now. Come on, Simon, you've got to... Oh, there's been a little bit of contact on the exit. Alex absolutely squeezes Simon out, and that allows Veloce James to capitalise. He's trying to go round the outside in the middle sector. Can he make it stick? Side by side going into the next corner as well. James trying to hang it all the way around the outside, but has to concede the position eventually. Some great little battling, and this isn't even for points at the moment.
Yeah, that's the incredible part. And unfortunately for these guys, it's really not helping them in their quest to get up the field and into the points-paying positions. It really seems the likes of James, Alex, Simon, these guys are kind of stuck at the back almost. Meanwhile, Formula Danny has just been making progress after progress after progress, and he claims yet another victim. Even before the braking zone for turn 2, moves himself up into the lead of the race. Again, he was already essentially in the net lead of the race, but he makes up another position on Tom 97 and gives himself that clean air, which is only going to help him in his quest to try and put even more of a gap. Oh, some big contact there between Isaac and Storm, and that could be an opportunity for Alex Gillen. He gets a great run coming down the hill now from the highest point on the Austrian circuit and into the next right-hander, and it looks like he's just about going to get that move done on Isaac. He's got Storm up ahead in the other Haas. Both Haas's a little bit further back than I would have expected as we're rapidly approaching the halfway point of this Austrian Grand Prix. Only 18 laps in this 25% distance. Moving back on board with Tiamat Marduk, driver of the day for myself last time out at Circuit of the Americas, and many of the viewers I saw as well voting for Tiamat Marduk as driver of the day as well. Don't forget to let us know your driver of the day at the end of this Austrian race. Oh, I think that was an end plate coming off of Ryan L83 if I'm not mistaken. It seems that Jem Bullock-Bossi really struggling on that pad. He's not quite used to it. He's used to having the wheel. Ryan going for the inside line leaves him vulnerable to Tiamat Marduk, who goes on the attack into turn 1, but he can't quite make it work. DRS open for both of these cars, but it looks like Ben with the better exit out of turn 1 is going to pull alongside the Toro Rosso, but they are going to be side by side into the braking zone. Can he go around the outside? He breaks a little bit later, a bit of a lockup, but no, Ryan maintains the position. Again, this is the first time we're seeing him in this series. I have to say he's doing quite well, still holding on to that top 5 position, but Ben has something to say about that, and Jarno Opmeer as well, I've just noticed, is in this fight as well. So this is a 4-way scrap now for just outside the podium. Oh, and Ben loses the back end. He's going to lose a big chunk of front ring as well, and that is surely going to drop. Yep, he is well out of the points now.
Very, very unfortunate for the Australian. That was such a shame. It was such a good battle right at the front for around 5th position, and Ryan was not giving it up, and Ben trying to squeeze all the way around the outside. We've got a little bit of contact actually between Alex Gillen and Karki. Once again, the Williams getting in the wars. Can Alex Gillen go right round the outside? Oh, that's extremely brave. He is using a little bit of Germany as well as Austria to try and go around the outside, and he does not manage to make that stick, as we've got another driver in the pits, and that is Ryan finally going into the pit lane. I'm going to guess to try and get that front wing restored back to full health, but we are currently riding on board with Veloce James, who's still stuck in a battle with Alex Gillen, and Simon as well has not been able to make any sort of advancement on the driver's head. Alex Gillen right up the inside, but we've got James all the way up the inside, very, very late on the brakes. He doesn't manage to keep it on the circuit. I think Alex Gillen's been forced off as well. He's got DRS and they're 3 wide on the exit, and this looks like Simon Weigang is going to be trying to be the biggest winner, and he's managed to make the position stick. Who's going to be last of the late breakers into this corner? We've still got James and Alex side by side. They are absolutely loving life at the moment, but Simon is a big winner in that battle. Veloci James holding 8th position, and Alex Gillen down to 9th as he slightly misses his apex in the middle sector, but absolutely breathless stuff here on lap number 10.
Ooh, a lot of understeer for the Red Bull of Alex Gillen as he's got the Williams right behind him and he continues to lose touch of that Haas up ahead. It looks like Jem Bullock-Bossi is going to take the cautious line into the pits and Storm is going to move ahead of him. That is, yeah, he carried a lot of speed into that pit lane. I got to hand it to him, actually. And there we go on board with the other Red Bull in his first race. Oh, Karki getting a penalty. Isaac picking up a penalty as well, too. A couple of 5-second penalties being applied. And that is certainly not going to be the best way forward for them.
No,
but,
both Williams.
And they're double stacking in the Williams garage. That is not going to work out, and that is going to be a big loss, especially because of the double 5-second time penalties. That is pretty much a nightmare scenario. But here we go between Renault and Haas once again. Simon Weigang with the inside line with the DRS breezes past the Veloce Storm, I have to say. Unfortunately for Tom, he just had no response for that straight line speed on that Renault. Moving up a little bit further is Hypers, one of the championship contenders, and in fact leading the championship after the first 2 rounds in his Toro Rosso. He's got Tom 97 up the road, and I imagine probably going to be catching up to him. Tom 97, a very skilled F1 driver, but not quite at the level of Veloce Hypers, I would say, so he's certainly going to be worried about that Toro Rosso in his rearview mirrors. Now we go on board for the first time, I believe, actually, with Hayden Gullis, who finds himself just outside of a points-paying position. However, just ahead of him is Niren, and I have to say, I'm pretty confident that Hayden can probably make the overtake on Niren, and possibly on Arab as well, too. Oh, now this is a scrap that some viewers are going to be interested in right here. Arab versus Niren versus Hayden. Oh yeah, this is going to end in hilarious laughter. I'm not entirely sure yet.
Only one word, and that is fireworks, as Hayden drifts through turn 1, fastest hands in the land, and he is very much showing that as we're right on board with Niren, who is trying to attack his own flatmate, should I say, trying to go right round the outside of Arav, and he's absolutely done him on the brakes. That's very, very late on the brakes, and Arav has lost the rear end on the exit. A very good move there from Niren, and Hayden Gullis now is going to be right on the back of Arav, and we're going to be wanting to pick up some sort of position, as Hayden Gullis on the soft tyre at the moment, Arav on the medium. Hayden looks like he's slightly outbroken himself going into that downhill right-hander, and he's lost a huge amount of time. He must have at least dipped a wheel into the gravel or grass at least, but it's been a very quiet race from Hayden Gullis right at the back, and also for Raggy as well. We've only seen him go into the pits, and he has currently got Ryan, who obviously we saw a lot earlier in the Grand Prix. He is sat in 13th right behind Ryan, that is in at 12th. The field's spreading out a little bit at the moment after that early safety car, but we'll see how the strategies pan out as we come to the end of lap number 12. But I think at the moment, the closest battle on track, looking at the mini-map, is still Arav and Niren as they go into turn 1 once again. These two love a good battle in Squad Sprint. Niren really pulling up his socks compared to last season, where he didn't really rate his performance. And look at this, Arav right onto the grass, and absolutely the crowd goes wild with these two going side by side once again. How do they not touch? They are putting on some absolutely incredible racing. I've got to hand it to the content creators so far this season, putting on some incredible racing, and Arav with the DRS manages to pull ahead and finally take that 9th position off Niren. Can he pull away, or can Niren stay on the back? But absolutely incredible stuff from those two.
I have to say, that was an impressive scrap for the two of them. Oh, this is a bit of an awkward one for Hypers here. He's caught up to the back of Tom 97, who seems to be lagging at least 4 Hypers. We don't know if that's Tom lagging or if that's Hypers lagging, but unfortunately that made him a little bit cautious through turn 1. Let's see if he can get the Mercedes with the inside line with the use of some DRS into the braking zone. They go. Storm picking up now a 3-second time penalty, so a few penalties we're seeing actually in today's race in Austria. And with that inside line, he does indeed move ahead of Tom 97, who is still holding on to 3rd position, though, in this race. I have to say, that is seriously impressive from Tom 97. Meanwhile, Arav and Niren are still battling it out. Hayden Gullis not that far behind, but Hayden up the inside on Arav into turn 2. Oh, some contact from behind as well. The 3 of them getting caught up with one another. Oh no, that is so unfortunate for all of them. But Arav, most of all, losing out big time in that one. Ryan L83 is going to be very, very close to the back of Jem Bullock-Bossi as they get into the braking zone. Let's have a replay of that, because yeah, I'm going to need a minute to parse exactly what happened here as they get into the braking zone. He turns into the right. Oh, okay. He's going to have some words from Hayden here. Team radio.
Whoa, what the Hayden? Jesus, mate. Whoa, whoa! What was that?
What the Hayden is now my favorite term in the world. I am absolutely going to be using that. This is on board with Ryan L83, who got a great view, and he tried to just grab both positions real quick there, and unfortunately lost a big chunk of front wing as a result of that. So he tried to optimistically grab a couple of positions as a result of that incident, but unfortunately ended up picking up some damage of his own.
Yeah, looks like Hayden was trying to be a bit brave on the brakes there, and Arav was very early, might I say, on the brakes, but you could see that Niren had already gone quite deep into the corner, so those two locked in battle, Hayden trying to get involved, and poor Ryan as well, once again getting caught up in some sort of incident, but we have currently got a battle on at lap number 16, we're 3 laps away from the checkered flag, and that is Storm up the inside of his teammate Veloce James. We've got Haas Civil War at the moment. We've frequently seen the Racing Points go at it in this series, but it's Storm and James that are currently locked in battle at the moment over 6th and 7th position. It is worth noting that Tom97 has not made a pit stop in this Grand Prix, so he's currently holding that 3rd position, but it's going to be very interesting to see where he filters out once he's made a pit stop. So as you can see on the left hand side, no stops at the moment for Tom97. Jarno and Simon currently holding 4th and 5th, with Storm and James holding 6th and 7th. And speaking of Tom coming into the pit lane, the Mercedes mechanics are out, and he's going to be basically doing a splash and dash to the end of the Grand Prix. He's going to be putting on a fresh set of medium tyres. I bet he wish he started on some mediums now, and he could have taken a set of softs like right towards the end. But it's going to be interesting to see, A, where he filters out, and B, how much pace he has to maybe make up some positions.
Yeah, he will have the freshest tires out of everybody on circuit. He has dropped down to 8th position, just behind Alex Gillen, who is having a bit of a quieter race compared to what we saw last week. That was blue flag. Oh, yep, that was for Joe. I think it was. The two Haas's are still right next to each other, though. I have to say, Storm doing an incredible job. Actually, he seems to be pulling a little bit of a gap on James. Who was coming into this race was in 2nd position in the championship standings. So James was really one of the contenders as we were coming into this race. There were 4 guys within, I think it was a 6-point gap between the top 4 coming into this. It was Hypers, James, Danny, and Jarno Otmir. And at the moment, Danny is the one who is really shining here today in Austria, as we're back on board with Tom97. Again, he's got those brand new set of medium compound tires, but the question is whether or not he can actually catch up to Alex Gillen and overtake that Red Bull. He's got just over 1 lap left to do it, so it's not going to be easy for him, but he's got the tires to do it. Again, they're brand new, so he can punish those tires to his heart's content. What is the gap? It's just dipped underneath 1 second there, so he's almost within DRS range. It looks like Alex carried a bit more speed through turn 1. Nope, he's got it back down to less than 1 second once again. Will we see the DRS deploy on that Mercedes? And it looks like no, not on the run down towards turn 2. He might have another opportunity down in towards turn 3. Meanwhile, quite a bit further up the road, Formula Danny is making his way through the middle sector, through those 2 high-speed left-handers, and he is looking pretty comfortable for the victory at the moment. You can see Hypers about 4.7 seconds behind in that Toro Rosso. So that would mean that Formula Danny is going to take the lead of the championship. We'll get confirmation after the race is completed and everything through the final corner for the final time and across the line, and it is going to be a victory in Austria for Formula Danny, and it is going to be the young Hypers in 2nd position, with Jarno Otmir claiming the final podium position, unless he's got some sort of penalties that I missed out on. Nope, but it is going to be 2 Renaults in 3rd and 4th, really high points for them, and then the Haas's not that far behind. Impressive stuff. Here is the confirmation of the final results. Formula Danny picking up the win, picking up 25 championship points. Hypers in 2nd position with 18 points. Then it's Jarno Otmir completing the podium. Simon Weigang makes it a fantastic result for Renault, picking up 27 points today in Austria. Then it's James in the Haas in 5th position, his teammate in 6th. Then it's Tom97 in 7th position. Nice points haul for him, finishing ahead of Alex Gillen, who comes home in 8th. Then it's Raggy in 9th, and Jem Bullock-Bassi claiming the final points-paying position here today in Austria. In 11th position and just outside of the points, it's got to be so frustrating for Niren, and right behind him is Hayden, who unfortunately didn't pick up any points today. Ben Daly in 13th position, had a bit of a mare today. Camille didn't have the best of races on his first outing here in Austria, finishing in 14th position. Same sort of situation for Brian Littlemore. Bit of a difficult day out there. We saw the issue that he had at turn 2, losing all of that front wing. So he will finish in 15th position. Isaac in 16th, and Arav dead last in 17th position. But wow, his race was exciting, if nothing else.
Let's have a look at the juicy championship standings. It is still very, very close at the top. Formula Danny, with that victory, taking the lead in the drivers' standings with 51 points to his name, with Tomek Hypers with 49 in P2. Just 9 points back is Jana Otmir with 40 points, tied with James Baldwin as well. Simon Weigang is in P5 with Alex Gillen, an impressive points haul so far in this season to pick up P6. Ben Daly in P7, Tom Lartillo in P8 with Hayden and Joe Wilkes, the both racing points, rounding out the top 10. In the bottom half of the standings, Arav is currently sitting in P11. Ben McConnell, Raggy is in P12 with Tom Martinez in P13. After missing out on a previous round, obviously he wasn't here in Austin, so this was his only points haul so far in this season after DNFing also in round 1. Niran is holding P14 with Isaac in P15. Jan Bulabasi, he currently holds P16 and last of the point scorers with Liam Vizet, who didn't take part in today's Grand Prix, Camille, Ryan Littlemore and James Doherty, who are yet to score points this season.
In the team's championship, it is Renault that leads the way after that fantastic result today. 27 points, as I mentioned previously. Now sitting on 67 points after 3 races, averaging more than 22 points per race. Then comes Haas, again, another double points finish for them today, sitting on 54 points, just 13 points behind the Renault drivers. Then comes Alfa Romeo in 3rd position, just 3 points back. Then just 2 more points down to Toro Rosso. Ferrari sitting in 5th position with Arav and Ben doing well with 24 points so far. Then it's Red Bull with 21, Racing Point surprisingly with 18 points, which is about 18 more than I expected, if I'm honest. Mercedes in 8th position with 13 points. McLaren and Williams level as they come at the end of race number 3 with 4 points apiece. That is going to do it for this week's episode. Don't forget to leave a comment and let us know who your driver of the day is, and definitely do not forget to tune in again next week at 6 p.m. GMT for round 4 of this 12 race season. For myself and Cal, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Veloce SquadSprint. Arav is braking very, very late.
Trying to go right round the outside of Arav, and he's absolutely done him on the brakes.
And it is going to be a victory in Austria for Formula Danny.